hope. And believe me, I wrote down certain points, but then I realized that by the time I come to this point of hope, it will be class will already be over. So now I'm rechanging. I'm starting from the back side, reverse side, because first I thought I'll give some ideas about Balram and then some stories about it. So let's see how it goes. I'm not sure exactly how it will go. And this topic we have chosen because very soon on 31st we'll be celebrating the appearance day of Sri Balramji, which is exactly like Janmashtami. So I'll begin where I remember how he is the greatest hope. I remember once we were in the Yatra, Kartik Mahotsav Yatra of Mayapur Dham with His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj and thousands of people. And we went to the holy place known as Eka Chakra. How many of you have heard of Eka Chakra Dham? Okay, for those who have not heard it, there are two historical importances to this holy dham. Eka Chakra is the place where, when Pandavas they were in incognito after the Lakshagraha episode, so they lived in one village with Kunti Maharani, their mother, in a Brahmana's house, and that place is known as Eka Chakra, and that's where he killed a demon called as Bakasur. Krishna also killed another demon, Bakasur, but he was a bird Bakasur, and this was like a proper big teeth, horns, whatever, that kind of Bakasur. So Bhima killed him. But that place, even though it is in the Bengal region, doesn't have Ganga flowing there. Bengal, practically everywhere Ganga is flowing. Some tributary, Ganga is everywhere. So this is also known as Radha Desh, where Ganga doesn't flow. So that's where Lord Nityananda was born. And that place is, you can say, synonymous or same like Gokul. Why? Because Balram was born in Gokul. So we were, towards the evening, we traveled throughout the day from Mayapur to Ekachakra through buses. Very small, single lane road. Only one bus can pass at a time. So buses were stopped outside the village and we had to walk few kilometers to reach the holy site where Lord Nityananda's temple is there. And ISKCON has a small, at that time it was a small property. Now there's a beautiful temple of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. So I remember we were all tired, and even though we were sort of 3-4 days in Mayapur, still we were carrying our luggage, not the clothes and all, luggage of Mumbai. That means the consciousness was still in Mumbai. See, that day, other day, His Grace Hari Parshad Prabhu was making a very beautiful point that previously people traveled to all the holy places by foot. So, it will take months to reach Vrindavan or maybe a year to reach somewhere in Kashmir, Vaishno Devi, whatever the holy places. So, months sometimes. So, you're constantly thinking of the holy place. So, what is happening? You are not there right now, but your consciousness is already there. But now what happens? We buy a ticket. What is it called as? Ease my trip. So we do ease my trip or some other format. We buy a plane ticket or a train ticket And we reach there. So by the time we reach there, we are still in the same mood consciousness of Mumbai, the complete material world. And even though we are there, by the time we absorb that consciousness, it's time to come back. That's the sad story of Kali Yuga. So sometimes past life, it has its own advantages, but a lot of disadvantages. So we're in that carrying that baggage still of Mumbai and whatever our own personal issues. We are struggling. And that time, the beautiful sight, some devotees have already reached and sitting, and His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj is standing, and next to him, His Holiness Sachinandan Maharaj is standing. Uh, I don't know how many of you have seen him or heard him. He's an amazing person. And that's the beauty of ISKCON. He's a pure German. He's a pure German. And who's his fastest, very close friend? He's Radhanath Swami, who's a Jew. So imagine the contrast, how Krishna consciousness brings people together. Somebody from a country which waged a complete war to wipe out Jews. And here they're complete, very thick friends, united in Krishna consciousness. So they are standing there and he is welcoming the devotees. Jai Sajjan Maharaj, very light saffron clothes and slight hair grown on his head, a beautiful smile, and he's welcoming the devotees. My dear devotees, welcome to the holy abode of Nityananda. This is the place which give hope to the hopeless. This is how he began. And then went on. Beautiful. So it was so profound that, just you're coming there with all your baggage, feeling like hopeless. I mean, you come with all your still attachments left here, and you have to come back. You're still wondering, I'm in the holy dham. When will I chant the holy names properly? When will my consciousness be purified? When will I feel the dham? So that's going on in the heart, feeling completely hopeless. And here is a person, welcome. This is the place where the most hopeless person can still get hope, because this is the abode of Lord Nityananda. So this same Nityananda is also known as Balram. He's also known as Shankarshana. He's also known as Ananta Shesha. These are his various names. So his main function is to unite all the living entities back to their source. Aham bija pradapita. Krishna is the original father. From him all of us come, all living entities come. And the father naturally wants all his children back to him. But children are busy playing. They have their own kids play. In Marathi, they call Bhatuklicha khel. Means you just play gudda guddi and whatever you are playing, and you are so absorbed. So you don't worry who's father, mother, but father is worried. Whether we are worried or not, he is worried. So to mitigate that worry, Balram, he makes sure that all living entities try to come to him. So therefore, sometimes it may appear that we are not making the enough effort to go to Krishna. But Balaram, in the form of Guru, he will try to encourage you. Sometimes he'll chastise you. Sometimes he'll encourage you. And somehow he'll pull you to Krishna. That is his function. So what is the most hopeless thought? Like when we are practicing Krishna consciousness, who troubles us the most? Some answers from all of you. तुम्हाला कोण त्रास देतं? Mind. Is there any other answer? Huh? Material desires. Any other answers? So, yes, the mind is the medium through which we desire. Mind has three functions: thinking, feeling, willing, desiring. So, these desires, they decide your fate. All of us, these desires decide our fate. They can make you the greatest devotee, most wonderful servant of God, or they can make you Ravana. It's all upon your desires. Maharashtra's famous saint Tukaram, he says, आपणची तारी आपणची मारी आपण उद्धार्या आपलिया. What is he saying? You only yourself, you can elevate yourself, you can yourself degrade yourself. You are the cause of your own fall or rise. That's what he's saying. So you means what? Your desire. So desire, when it is channelized to Krishna, it results in prema. When it is channelized to attachments or ourselves, separate from Krishna, it results in lust. That is called as lust. I I'll try to say this correctly from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Atmendriya priti vancha tarabali kam. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami is saying Atmendriya priti vancha. That means Atma Indriya, the senses, myself, whatever we are made up of, existence. When the love goes for attachment is to that, it is called as Tarabali Kam. It is called as Kama. Krishnendriya Pritivancha Dhare Premanam. When the same desires are dovetailed to Krishna's pleasure, then they are called as Dhare Premanam. So that's Prema. So it's only desire. So the greatest enemy is a wrong desire. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna and Arjuna are talking, and Arjuna suddenly asks this question. He frankly admits Arjuna is a very great personality. He is not some ordinary person who is struggling with his senses. He is a great person, but still he admits, Oh Krishna, who is the greatest? I don't know exactly who's my greatest enemy. And then Krishna answers, It is lust only, O Arjuna, who's your greatest enemy. Kamesha Krodesha Rajoguna Samudbhava. Out of passion is this lust which takes birth. And it is the Mahashano Mahapapma. It is like it devours everyone. So, this lust is actually the Maya Devi's greatest instrument. And sometimes we may feel ki, yeah, there is a problem. Sometimes I feel afflicted by Maya. This is what our thoughts are. We are a complete fool if we think like this. Because it's not sometimes, it's all the time. It's all the time. Like one of the earlier disciples of Srila Prabhupada, he went to Srila Prabhupada, offered his obeisances, and Prabhupada is asking about his, how's everything going? So he's saying, yes, Prabhupada, I'm fine, everything is going. But sometimes this, I fall in Maya. What is that? Very frankly, he said, sometimes I fall in Maya. So Prabhupada immediately corrected him. He said, no. Sometimes you are always in Maya, sometimes you fall in Krishna. in the association of devotees, when you are chanting the holy name, in the yatras, in Janmashtami celebration, whatever, when you are completely absorbed in service, then you fall in Krishna. But generally, our consciousness is completely filled with this great enemy called as lust. So that creates a kind of a hopeless situation. We struggle, we continuously struggle. A sadhaka is continuously struggling. In fact, this struggle is a good sign. Once His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, we were walking together, and one devotee next to me was talking to him. And again, Maharaj asked, "How's everything?" So he said, "Maharaj, there's a lot of struggle. It's just struggle, on and on. It's continuous struggle." He said, Maharaj said, "Very nice, very good. If you are struggling, means you are alive. You still have a chance. Once you give up struggle, you're finished." So, Mr. Last, he makes us hopeless. This Maya Shakti makes us hopeless. It pulls us back to this material nature again and again. We try to go forward to Krishna consciousness, it pulls you back. So, a devotee feels hopeless sometimes. So, who gives that hope? The greatest hope giver, the greatest support we have is Shri Balram. There is one of our previous acharyas, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He has written several books. One of the books, very beautiful books, is called as Shikshamrita. So he talks about all the demons which Krishna killed. There are several demons. And he begins with Putana, then Shakatasura, then that world demon, what is Trinavarta, Bakasur, so many demons he killed. And then he gives analysis that it's not that they were imaginary people or something, they were actually there. But they had a particular kind of psychology or mentality which they represented, a particular anartha which they represented. Like Putna represents the false guru. That means, like guru, what is the function of guru? He nourishes you, just like mother nourishes the child. But Putana, what she was doing? She was trying to nourish him, nurse him, but what was she giving? Poison. That's a false guru. The false guru will tell us, "Hey, you are Krishna." Or you can do this magic and you will become very exalted. So cheap tricks, that's a false guru. So like that, there are many anarthas which are represented and they are killed by Krishna. Krishna actually finishes them all. But certain demons, they are not killed by Krishna. Those anarthas, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, the sadhaka himself has to struggle. Like Krishna will manage most of the things. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu. Praya means what? Almost. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu. Whatever abhadra is there in the heart, prayeshu. Almost it will be gone by Krishna's holy name because it is non different than Krishna. But almost matlab bacha kya hai? So bacha hui cheez hai. What is that? Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that a sadhaka has to make efforts to deal with it, and one of them is lust. So this lust demon, a sadhaka has to struggle on his own. You may say that, bas ho gaya Prabhu. I just can't struggle in front of this Mr. Lust. In fact, one of the disciples told Prabhupada that, Prabhupada, I'm just tired. I just can't deal with this lust. Mr. Lust is harassing me. And Prabhupada gave a very simple answer, which was very profound. It looked very simple, but very profound. What he said? Just hold on to me. That means my instruction. Guru means his instruction. Hold on to me and I'll kick that Mr. Lust with my boots on his head. So that was Prabhupada's statement, which actually Balram's statement. So this lust, this particular anartha was killed by Balram. He was represented by one demon in the Krishna Lila. His name is Pralambasura. So one day, Krishna, after killing Kaliya, and Kaliya was killed in the winter season. So Yamuna was very cold. And Kaliya was in the coils of, Krishna was in the coils of Kaliya for several hours, practically from morning till evening. And these Brajvasis, they make a very nice picturization of it. They say that, see, Krishna performs, he's an artist. So he will not perform alone. He has to dance on Kaliya's head, hoods. So he requires good audience. So unless whole Brajamandal comes to see him, when the hall is completely packed, full, now Krishna will start dancing. So all the people come, they faint and they are like worried, Krishna, except Balram is very much nicely smiling. He's looking at Krishna and he's smiling because he's sort of talking to Krishna. क्या चल रहा है तुम्हारा ये? What is this water snake? It is holding you. You are sleeping on Shesha, Ananda Shesha, which is thousands of hoods and so huge. And ये क्या छोटा सा सांप के साथ खेलता है तुम? So they are like, Balram is smiling. But when Krishna says that all the Brijvasis are there and they're fainting, their love is outpouring from their hearts. So Krishna decides, okay, now enough is enough. And then he dances and Kaliya is subdued. So, but after that, Krishna is feeling very cold. So then he comes out and he is lying on a hill where suddenly 12 suns come. Dwadash Aditya Til. Today also if you go in Vrindavan, there is a hill called as Dwadash Aditya. Dwadash means 12, Aditya means suns. The 12 suns come together to heat up the body of Krishna. So Krishna feels warmth. Oh, okay, nice. So by the time all this is happening, it is already night and they sleep there. And next they go and slowly the season changes from winter to summer. So at that time, Krishna, Balram, they're playing nicely. And one day, another demon which was sent by Kamsa, his name was Pralamba. So he comes there and he watches these two boys, Krishna and Balram. So he recognizes, oh, this Krishna is the most powerful person. Huh? And this other guy is also very powerful. So Balram is actually Krishna. Means, again, Prabhupada sometimes gives such beautiful answers to questions. Like one devotee asks, Prabhupada, what is the difference between Krishna and Balram? And Prabhupada so sweetly said, he's just white Krishna. Means Balram is nothing different than Krishna. He has all the powers, everything. Only the function is different. Krishna is supposed to enjoy, and he himself, as Balram, as white Krishna, he is supposed to provide all the facility. That's simple. As simple. He is white Krishna. So he decides, Balaramba, okay, probably I need to deal with this person first, Balaram. So then Krishna also recognizes, okay, he is a demon, but he has come as a coward boy. So they say, oh friend, come, let's play. And then they divide themselves, Krishna's party, Balaram's party. And then they play a duel. So, like something like wrestling. And whoever between the two parties wins, the winner has to be carried on the shoulder of the loser. So then Krishna is there and with him Bhadrasen is there, Rishabh is there, all these people. And on the other side, Balram, Sridama, they have their own parties. And Pralamba enters there. Pralamba enters Krishna's party. And then naturally, Balram's party wins. So then, as per their previous agreement, Krishna carries Sridama on his shoulders and he's running. And Sridama says, come on, run, come on. Then Bhadrasen carries Rishabh. And then here, Pralamba takes a chance and he carries Balram. So Pralamba takes Balram. So you understand, Krishna is on, this is all happening in Bhandir 1. In Vrindavan, there is a Bhandir 1. So Balramji is taken away by Pralambasur. But he is Balram. Even though he is a small child, he is Balram. His Guru, Adi Guru. Guru means heavy. We sometimes a Guru Tattva. Guru. Anything Guru means heavy. So Balram is heavier than a mountain. So you understand, this is too much to carry. So slowly, slowly he picks up his form and he comes in his original form, which was with a golden helmet and dazzling kind of coppery hair, very fierce teeth, red eyes. So Balram suddenly said, "So how this person has changed suddenly? A small boy was carrying me and suddenly now this huge personality? Who is he?" And Balram understands, oh, he wants to kill me. So Krishna has his own style, Balram has his own style. His name itself is Balram. So Balaram, when the name was given by Gargacharya, he said that this person will give lot of pleasure to everyone. He's Rama, Ramana, like continuous pleasure to all people around him. And another style he will have is he will take pleasure in his bala. He will show off his bala. So Krishna, sometimes does many things, takes time, but Balram did not take it. Balram just took his fist, bang on the head, cracked him, and just like Indra very easily with a thunderbolt cracks a mountain. Similarly, his whole head was cracked, blood started flowing from his mouth, and he fell down just like a huge snake with a broken head will lie on a street. But because he was like a mountain, big sound came, and all the people came running. What happened? What happened? And they saw this huge demon. And everyone started congratulating. Oh, there is no hero like Balram. So Krishna embraces him, all the cowherd boys. And then people kept on singing the glories of how Balram killed Pralambasura. So this Pralamba, Thakur Bhaktivinoda writes, he is the anartha of lust. Lusty desires, desires for being admired, desires for position, fame, pratishtha, all these desires, they are represented in Brahmasura. So this particular anartha, the sadhaka has to fight on his own. But when he is fighting, he requires strength, bala, the spiritual prowess. That comes from Balaram. So this same Balaram, as I said earlier, he is Ananta Shesha. He is the Dham. Balaram is the only person who serves Krishna. He is so eager to serve Krishna that he serves Krishna in all different rasas. He serves Krishna in Shantarasa. How does he serve Krishna in Shantarasa? He becomes his bed. Like as Ananta Shesha, he is his bed. He becomes a dham, Vrindavan dham. He becomes his shoes. He becomes all the paraphernalia which are used to worship Krishna. That's why we say this kartal, mridanga, they are like They are worshipable. We always touch them to our heads. Why? Because they represent Balaram. So in Shantaras, he takes the form of Dham and his paraphernalia where he can sit, asana. In Dasyaras, Krishna, when he is tired, after herding the cows, after playing, he is tired. Then Balram massages his feet as a as if he is a servant. Then in Sakhyaras, they are like friends. They wrestle with each other, they joke with each other, they tease each other, they praise each other. Like Krishna is happily walking with Balram in Vrindavan, and all the trees they come down. And Krishna says, "See, Balaram, your strength, your glory is such that all trees are bending down to offer you respects. Look at the deers, how they are rushing to you. They love you so much. Your beauty personified." Like that, Krishna is praising and Balaram is praising. So this is Sakhyaras. He's the closest friend to Krishna. Then Vatsalyaras. When Krishna does something, sometimes Balaram is very worried. Like when he's eating dirt. So he pulls him, no, you come. I have to tell mother that you have eaten dirt. So he's in that Vatsalya bhav. He's trying to protect Krishna all the time. And in the Madhurya bhav, Madhurya ras, Balram takes a form of Ananga Manjari. He's one of the gopis who's younger sister of Srimati Radharani. And as Balram, he becomes Ananga Manjari and serves Krishna in Madhurya ras. So he's the only person who can do all this thing because he's so eager. So that same person, Balaram, is also Nityananda. Brajendra Nandana Jai Sachi Suta Hoilo Se. Narottam Das Thakur sings this. Brajendra Nandana Jai Sachi Suta Hoilo Se. That means Brajendra is Nanda Maharaj. He is Nandana. His son is now appeared in Kali Yuga as Sachi Suta. That is Jai Sachinandan Gaurahari. Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Balarama Hoilo Nitai. That Balaram becomes Nitai, Nityananda Prabhu. So this Nityananda Prabhu, there are many stories. Actually, Balaram, you cannot finish. You have to just, it can take 2, 3, 4 hours for each and every small pastime. But we'll stick to the topic which we have taken. He's the hope. So once Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the tour of South India on the pretext of searching for his brother Vishwarup, who had taken sannyas and become Shankararanya Swami. So to search for him, he said, I want to search for him. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to South India. But the main purpose was to preach Krishna consciousness, to spread the holy name all over the world. So he is going in the streets, everywhere, wherever he is going, he is raising his arms and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And just by looking at him, he was so beautiful, so attractive, that people would just get stunned by the beauty. They would want to do whatever he was doing. So they would start chanting the holy names and follow him behind. Now he is going forward, they are following. And after some time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would turn back and he would say, Oh, my dear brother, thank you. And he would embrace him. And just by that embrace, that person would start crying. Whole Krishna Prem would arise in his heart. He would become a pure Vaishnava right there. And then he couldn't stop chanting the holy names. And he would cry when he would chant the holy names. And in this way, he would go to his own village again. And thereby seeing him, embracing him, touching him, others would become Krishna conscious. They would start chanting. And that person would go back to his village. Like that, there was a chain reaction. So while this is happening, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has a assistant as a sannyasi. His name is Kala Krishna Das. So this Kala Krishna is a very simple brahmachari. So they slowly come to a place known as Mallardesh in the south. So they come to Mallardesh, and that's where there was a community called as Bhattaris. So these Bhattaris, they were like dressed like sannyasis, but they had very bad motives, ulterior motives. They would capture people, rob them, and make them one of them to steal and rob others. So they saw this Kala Krishnadas and they sent one of the women and she was luring him and he got caught and he went away. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started searching, where is he? Then he understood he has gone there. So he went to this Bhattaris. It's a beautiful story, big story, but I'll make it very short. The Bhattaris, when they were told that, why are you taking my assistant? I'm a sannyasi. So they attacked him with all the weapons. But by Mahaprabhu's mystic power, the same weapons attacked them. They were all killed. And he pulled him by hair and brought him back. And then he begged for forgiveness. And then they went back, came to Jagannath Puri. And as soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, immediately he called for Swarup Damodar and said, from tomorrow, I don't want to see this person's face. And then he said what he did. So Kala Krishnadas went outside and he understood I have been rejected. See, imagine God rejecting you. You're nowhere. So he started crying. He started begging to devotees, do something. And then that's where the power of Balram comes. Nityananda Prabhu immediately, okay, don't worry, I'll handle this. You have served Krishna nicely, but you have some weakness. Mr. Lust allured you. So then Nityananda Prabhu comes next day to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Says, you have come back from South India after 2 years. There is no one to go and tell the devotees in Navadvip, Bengal. So I will send Kala Krishna Das on your behalf. And that's how he will be engaged in your service. Be merciful to him. So generally Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is extremely strict in his, there is a future story in Chaitanya Charitamrita about Chota Haridas, which is, if you read that, you'll be shaken. That much strict he was. But Nityananda Prabhu, because he had recommended, he said, okay, whatever you feel, you do it. And that's how Kala Krishna Das remained in the service of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna, they are all, Krishna is always subordinate to the love of Balramji. If Balramji recommends somebody, he can't say no. Imagine Duryodhana was still being favored by Balram. No matter what happened, Balram was still favoring Duryodhana. And Krishna had to tolerate it. Once no, this time is over. So I'll conclude now. I'll just bring it to the current status now. So this Balram, Nityanand Prabhu, they are represented in Guru. So how Guru is so powerful. See what we sing every day morning, we sing this uh, Guru Ashtakam. In that, the seventh verse says, Sakshat Haritvena Samasta Shastrer. All the Shastras declare that Guru is Sakshat Hari. He deserves the same respect. He is not God, but he deserves the same respect as God. Why? Because he is Balram Tattva, Guru Tattva. So this respect is due to him because of his power to control Krishna. Krishna has to do what he says. Like Nityanand Prabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him once, now you go, Nityanand Gosai, you go back to Navadvip, don't come back. Preach there. I don't want to see you next year. And next year Nityanand Prabhu is there. He comes with all the devotees, more devotees. And Balram, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he talks in a very loving way. He says, what to do? This Nityanand Prabhu, I tell him not to come, but he comes. So what can I do? I am very subordinate to him. Srila Prabhupada, many times he has demonstrated this. That Krishna doesn't want something and he says, nahi hona hi hai. Krishna has to accept it. There are two stories which we will quickly take. They are very interesting stories. So in the initial days, in London, Chaitanya these 6 devotees from America, they come in London to preach Krishna consciousness because Prabhupada was very much interested in London. Why? Because his spiritual master Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati had sent his prominent sannyasi disciples, extremely learned, to London to preach. And after 1 year of spending thousands of pounds at that time, which was a huge amount, he would collect in India, send it to them. Still, what they could come back is only some photos with some governor, some lords, 1 or 2 speeches here and there, but no devotees. So he said, what my God brothers couldn't do, you people will be able to do. Go. So they had complete faith. So much faith that they did not actually have money to enter there. So 2 people would come in, they would enter London, they would send that money back to America. Same money, because you have to enter and London with some money. If you don't have that money, you cannot enter. So they had only that much money. So they would send that. Then the second couple came with the same money, again sent back the money. So that means what? Those who are staying there, they have no money. Literally one day they are walking. This is now Malti Mataji herself, Her Grace Mataji. She or one of those original 6 people. They said, one day we did not have any money with us to eat, to provide for the rent for whatever place we had taken. And they are walking on the famous street called as Oxford Street, which is very famous, one of the busiest street in the whole world. So they are walking and suddenly from nowhere the pounds start flying. They literally fall and they all collect nicely, pocket it and go away. So they said this kind of things increased our faith that whatever Prabhupada says has to happen. So Prabhupada told them, create a temple for Krishna. So they went, no money again. So the person is saying, where is the money? So they said, we don't have money, but big people know us. So said, who is the big person? George Harrison knows us. So they went to George Harrison. George Harrison gave a note, I know these people, they will pay your rent. So George Harrison's letter and they got that big building. And Prabhupada said, create a temple. So they said, Prabhupada, we are creating temple, but what is there? What is supposed to be there in the temple? So that Krishna will manage. Literally, this is how it is. And Prabhupada even fixes a date. Okay, on this date, we'll open the temple. Now, there is still no order in Jaipur, and that time it was not this easy to order deities and get the deities. And one fine day, suddenly, one Hindu community, Gujarati Hindu community from Wembley, they phone up. Okay, we have these deities of Radha and Krishna. They have been brought for our temple. They came from India. But somehow this Radharani's finger is chipped off. while transporting. And according to the Shastras, we cannot install these deities because they're bhanga. So Prabhupada said, I will accept. So Prabhupada went, and they wanted to naturally do some big ceremony, festival, and hand over the deities. But Prabhupada just took some of his disciples and said, okay, Tamal, just see how heavy is Radharani. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj, that time Brahmachari, he picks up Radharani and says, not so, okay, take him to the car, take her to the car. Then, okay, Sham Sundar, you see how heavy is Krishna. So he picks up. And they're all talking, Swamiji, we'll give you, but say, no, there's no need. And he just sits in the van and goes away. And his devotees are laughing in the van. He said, Prabhupada, you just kidnapped Radha and Krishna. We have heard Krishna kidnapping Rukmini, but this is too much. So then Prabhupada went in the far off street. He said, now stop the car. Then he got down, opened the deities, and right there he started praying. Govindam Adi Purusham prayers. And he prayed to Krishna, you have come with your own will, so now be here. And then he installed, and that is the deity called as Radha Landaneshwar. Today also it is the beautiful deity, Radha Landaneshwar. Then second time, he went to Australia. When he went to Australia, there was some communication gap that Prabhupada is coming, not coming. That time it was all telegrams. There was no email or fax or anything. Even fax was not invented that time. Anybody knows what is fax? Some of you might. Younger generation doesn't even know what is fax. But it's so easy now. So Prabhupada reached, and Prabhupada carried the Mumbai program, Bombay Cross Maidan program deities with him. I want to install them in Australia. Now, Australia, there are no devotees. One couple was there. That person was from America. And few new people have started coming. Some of them are initiated by Prabhupada by name on later, but many of them are not. In the room, there is a small, you can say like this, kind of cupboard. On top of that is a cloth and small Jagannath Baldev Subhadra. That's it. No Guru Parama, nothing is there. So Prabhupada knows, I have come to a complete raw place. There's nothing there. But he makes a plan. He is there only for a week or so. So he makes a plan. And Prabhupada is hungry after travel and he says, I'm hungry. So this disciple, again they are rushing. They don't know how to cook for Prabhupada. So they cook and bring food to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada looks at the food. This is not prasad. I will teach you how to do it. So Prabhupada enters the kitchen right there, shows them how to make fulkas and everything. And he says, now you learned? Okay. So then he shows how to offer. Next day, still they are not able to make those fulkas. But still Prabhupada accepts it. And third day gives initiation. Fourth day gives Brahman initiation. कितने आप लोग में से कोई लोग तो इनिशिएशन के लिए रुके हैं ना इधर कोई 4 साल 5 साल रुके हैं but this is how Prabhupada worked because he was in emergency mode and he says tomorrow we'll have deity installation and he installs the deities Radha Gopinath Australian Radha Gopinath they are still there and then next day he shows them how to worship next day now Krishna doesn't want to come there Krishna has not planned this is Prabhupada has planned because there is no one there Krishna and Radha they are there and Prabhupada stands in front of them he's about to now he's taking leave that I'm going back so he frankly says now this is in Lilamrit you can read this Prabhupada Lilamrit he says my dear sir he's telling Krishna my dear sir somehow you have come here these people are not trained they're not trained brahmanas they don't know how to worship so please take care of yourself so and Radha and Krishna stayed there they are still there after 50 years they are still there today this is the power of Guru this is power of Balram so he is the hope for the most hopeless people all of us But how do we attract his bala? How do we attract his power? So for that, Nityananda, we just sang this beautifully. So here it is said, एक बार देख ले चखे जल. चखे में चक्षु. In Bengali, चखे. एक बार देख ले चखे जल. Somebody, Nityananda Prabhu says, okay, this person loves my Lord. His Lord is Shri Gaurang Mahaprabhu. एक बार देख ले चखे जल, Gaura bole. While saying Gaura, in his eyes there are tears. Nitai then Sakala Sambal. That means Nityananda Prabhu will give you everything what you require. Because he is very pleased that, okay, here is someone who loves my Lord as much as I love him. So Prabhupada was also asked by many of his disciples, Prabhupada, how can we serve you? And Prabhupada said, do as I do. That means chant the way I chanted, be enthusiastic while preaching, be kind to people, don't be judgmental. See, Prabhupada's one of the greatest qualities is that he never judged those people. The most obnoxious behaviors he had seen, which are unacceptable in India from his background. This is like 50, 60, 70 years back. That time India was much more sober, much more traditional. That time he had gone to the West and he's seeing all these hippies practically nude, taking drugs and doing all sorts of nonsense activity. And still he's encouraging them, chant Hare Krishna, come to Krishna. So they were the hopeless people, most hopeless people, and he created hope in them that they can become the topmost Vaishnavas, and they are still there. So that is Prabhupada's glory, that is Balram's glory. So when we are celebrating Balram Jayanti, that should be our mood. How eager, how enthusiastic Balramji is, Guru is to serve Krishna, to chant the holy names with love, with attention. So we may not have that love. We are sadhakas. But what do we have? We have our sincerity. If we offer our sincerity, with that sincerity, attentive service to Guru and Krishna will come. That's why we sing, Vando Mui Savadhanamate. Savadhan. Be attentive. When you are serving Sri Guru, be attentive. Don't be casual. Don't be inattentive. When we are chanting the holy name, be attentive. When you are doing every small seva, like most of our, this program is practically led by the ladies. They are very attentive to small details. That is what will attract Krishna. Vando moi savadhanamate. And when we attract Guru's mercy, then yasya prasadat bhagavad prasado yasya pratam nadgati katope. It is impossible if you do not get Guru's mercy to get Krishna. Impossible. Because there Balram's mercy is not there. But yasya prasadat bhagavad prasado. If he is merciful, you are assured, guaranteed that Krishna will accept you as his own. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Thank you very much for your attentive hearing. Hare Krishna.